Hello friendos, welcome back to my channel. This is Amy, if you're wondering. The friendos thing, that was kind of weird. Yeah, not gonna lie. I think we're gonna go with it though. I think that might be how I start talking now to all of you. Anyway, welcome back to my channel once again. Today we're actually doing a build that I did a bit ago, maybe a week or two ago, and it was for the Little Simsies Shell Challenge build, which was really fun. I actually did two versions for the build challenge. This is the second one I submitted, and it's probably my favorite out of the two, so I made sure to record it for everyone to see. It's pretty much like an eco, kind of green, modern home. Has a lot of wood and white and plants, a lot of plants. People do this kind of build all the time, and I always think it looks really good, so I wanted to try it for myself. And I also added a cool little like pond / pool thing in the front. There's a little house off to the side where you can sit by a fire pit and hang out, and it has a bunch of cool features. There's a little yoga room, there's a tiny little teen bedroom, which is like my favorite bedroom that I've ever built and ever in The Sims, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I like this build a lot. It gave me a little bit of grief in times. You don't want to know how much I actually cut out while I was editing this video, because there were so many parts that I looked like a fool building, so I took them out. Don't worry, you don't have to watch them. I also took out a lot of the landscaping and all the bathrooms and stuff to keep the video length at something reasonable to watch. But yeah, that's basically the build for today. What's more exciting is definitely that University comes out tonight at midnight. I'm very excited. I have to work actually, so I don't get to play until I get home, but I actually usually don't get home. I should be getting home at a reasonable time. I should probably be home before 11, so at least while I'm at work, I'm busy, so I can't think about how much I just want to be playing University, and otherwise I'd be sitting around my house just twiddling my thumbs. But yeah, I'm really excited for that to happen. I think the thing I'm most excited for is just to look at all the lots and start renovating them for my personal save file. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited. I definitely have been looking around my own university for inspiration lately and what I think I'm going to change about the world. I think I might even make another sorority house that fits in with the world a little bit better, but I have a lot of plans for what I'm going to do in the university world, so if you're interested in seeing any of those builds, I'll make sure to record some of them and put them up for y'all to see. But yeah, I have to work tonight, so we don't get to think about it until a little bit later. Kind of sucks. Today's been a weird day. I woke up really early so that I could take my cat to the vet because she's been throwing up lately. Yeah, it's kind of gross, sorry, but she has been. She's a cat, so she's gonna throw up once in a while, I know that. But she threw up 3 different times on our bath mat, which I was not pleased about, and we'd had the bath mat for a long enough time where I just decided to throw it away. But I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll call the vet. So we got up early today. We were gonna go there at 9 a.m. Oh, that's my alarm to feed her, actually. Sorry about that. I don't know if you could hear that, but I have to feed my cat. Anyway, so we went to take her to the vet. She was really not happy in her little carrier. It was horrible. She was meowing. I thought someone was going to think we were torturing her, because as we were taking her down the stairs through our apartment complex, she sounded like she was literally dying. And I was so convinced someone was going to come out and be like, what's happening out here? But we got her to the vet, and we got inside, and we sat down, and I got ready to go talk to them and check her in, and they had her name up on a little whiteboard of like pets we're seeing today. So I was really surprised when they looked up the information and they were like, oh, you actually have a different location for the appointment, it says on here, and it's different than where we are. And I was just like, what? There's no way. So unfortunately, I was an idiot, I guess, and scheduled the appointment at a completely different location from where I planned to take her. Really embarrassing. I did not know what to say or do. Luckily my boyfriend came with me, and he's so level-headed that I was just like, whatever. I was pretty upset when we got back in the car. I ended up just canceling the appointment at the other location because it was far enough away where we would have been late and I would have felt really bad. And I guess at this point she's fine. Honestly, I was starting to feel kind of dumb for even scheduling an appointment because cats throw up, and there's a couple factors that I think are contributing to this. I really don't think anyone on YouTube cares, but basically my cat is fine. And moral of the story, don't make appointments by yourself because you can't do it. I can't do it. I thought I was an adult. I'm not. I was wrong. I also missed another appointment about maybe last week on Thursday, so it was literally, a week ago from today. I I set up an advising appointment at my university. I was going to talk with them about how many more classes I have to take before I can graduate, and it was going to be great, and I was going to get all my questions answered. And then I scheduled that appointment also for 9:30, I believe, and I live really close to where I go to school. So I thought, no big deal, it's early in the morning. Classes usually don't start to really get filled up until like 10 a.m., so I should be able to leave at 9 and I should be fine. So I drove my little self over there in my car, and then I realized that I could not find any parking. And this is not an unknown issue. I go to one of the biggest schools in the entire country, so parking is a nightmare because as much as they give people parking passes, they give too many. So like every single student has a parking pass, it feels like, and obviously not every student on campus is going to be on campus at the same time, but there's still a lot of students, so there's literally no parking. And I circled around the parking lot. I was super stressed out. I felt like such an idiot. There were like 2 other people that were doing the same thing as me, and we just kept looking at each other like, I'm sorry, dude, I'm gonna take a spot if I see it. And I'm not competitive, so I was like really worried about that. Basically, I just kept watching the clock and realized that I was already gonna be late, and I was gonna be really embarrassed to go up there and say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm late, I'm here now. So instead, I did the cool thing, and I just turned around and went home and didn't go to my appointment. And I also didn't call them because I was really embarrassed and didn't want to talk to them. I don't really think it matters all that much. I mean, the first thing they're going to do is just realize that I wasn't there and call whoever's next in. But I don't think I'm going to get another appointment with them until next semester, because now I'm afraid that they're going to remember my name and be like, ugh, she didn't show up to her appointment last time, disgusting. So that's my dilemma. Once again, not really an adult, can't make my own appointments. This is why we don't need cars in The Sims, because Sims won't be able to find parking at their university, and then they won't be able to make it to class, and we'll all fail, and it'll be really upsetting. Realistically, that'd be really funny. I wouldn't mind having that problem in game. In-game always seems a little too easy sometimes, and definitely from what I've seen with the university content that's currently out, the prices for classes are really cheap compared to what we would pay in real life, so like it's not as much of a struggle to pay for university out of pocket in The Sims, which is no fun. I like to struggle a little in The Sims, definitely. It's not as fun when you have a lot of money. But yeah, I mean, there's no like... The typical problems of going to university in the US, at least, I feel like, are parking for classes, how much money it is, and like how much money you have to spend to join organizations. I mean, I know there's a couple that you can join pretty much off the bat in The Sims 4 University, and I just want to say that is so, like, I don't know if you have to pay to join them at all. I think you have to pay to maybe be part of the sports teams, but actually I'm not even sure about that. Don't quote me on it. So yeah, organizations are expensive. If you want to join anything, there's always dues. Even if you only have to pay them once, it's usually like at least $50, which really sucks sometimes. I really don't do anything on campus. I'm like the most uninvolved student that's ever lived, probably. But even so, I have paid for a couple things, like some honor societies that I don't even go to meetings for, but yeah, those had dues that were due as soon as you joined, and you never have to pay them again, but still, you do have to pay them then. And you get sometimes, like, I joined a transfer student honor society. I know, very cool. They had dues that I was going to pay for the rest of my life. There's no dues after the first time you pay them. And then I also bought, like, a t-shirt, graduation cords, stupid things like that. Those cost money as well. But they were like, if you don't buy it now, you're never going to be able to buy it again, literally ever. So I got a little stressed out and bought some things under the pressure. I'm definitely an impulse buyer as it is, so they reeled me in there with that whole, today's the only day. But yeah, what else about university in the real world is like super inconvenient, probably not going to be an issue in class. You know what's really inconvenient? When people take your seat, your assigned seat in a lecture hall classroom especially. That doesn't really happen to me anymore because I don't really have any classes with those like giant atrium style places with your professors talking to like 600 people at once. I know that where I go to school now, those classes are absolutely huge. I didn't take any of those classes here, so I didn't really have to experience that, but I did take a couple classes like that where I used to go to school, and it probably had 100 kids in it. Yeah, those classes, you can kind of just sit wherever. I don't think they ever have you particularly sit somewhere, but you pretty much just like pick a seat the first day, and I think you just kind of sit there for the rest of time. And then, you know, once in a while you show up to this class and someone picks your assigned seat, and then you just I don't know what to do. I think that happened to me a couple times when I went to my old school, and I'm definitely not gonna actually like walk up to them and say something. But it's really annoying. It's like, no, you know where you've been sitting this whole time, and you know where I've been sitting, and today, people actually have done that in my art classes, because same thing kind of applies. You normally have to have an easel of some kind, and you set it up somewhere in the room, and I am a creature of habit, so I like to put my easel in the same place every single time, and draw from the same place every single time, which my drawing professors they don't like it when you do that. They're like, move around the room, get a new experience, and I'm just like, no, it's fine. But lately, when I was going to my drawing class, people would take my spot, and I was not okay with it. And I would get there really early just to be sure that I had my spot, and sometimes there was still someone there. It was horrible experience, would not recommend. But also, you know what else people will do, and especially those like stadium style seatings? It's like, sometimes there's not enough students to fill up the entire room, so you're in your seat, and you have usually, well, if you're me, you picked a seat that has no one around you, like there's no one next to you for a couple seats maybe, and then someone sits like directly next to you, and you don't know them, and they don't try to talk to you or anything, or maybe they do, but in my case, that happened to me in my statistics class, and I was really annoyed because I liked to use the desk next to me, because I could use it to put my laptop on it, and then I could have my entire desk for writing, because in the US, at least in those classes, a lot of times the desks are like attached to the seats from the side, and in that class particularly, you had to like pull it up from the ground and then turn it flat, and they were absolutely tiny. There's literally enough room to have like maybe your paper and a couple pencils. I would make room for my Starbucks, but there's no room on those things. You have to put things on your lap instead, or you do what I did and you use the desk that's next to yours, like a champ, and then someone sits next to you and ruins that for everyone involved. But yeah, they also have only a couple of left-handed desks, I believe. Like the desks kind of have a long part on the side, and then they kind of turn into like a flat, random shape, but the side is usually on your right, so that, you know, most people I think are right-handed, so you can write, but then they have a couple seats that are designated for left-handed people. Yeah, those seats, there aren't enough of those for the people who are left-handed, from what I've heard. If you're left-handed, leave a comment below, and if you've had this struggle, please let me know, because I'm interested to hear about it. I know that I don't really know if anyone like who's not left-handed tries to sit in those desks, because it really wouldn't benefit you in any way, but I can imagine that probably happens a lot, especially in classes where there's not enough seats for everyone. I think I heard that in that case, like a lot of times professors won't let you just stand there and like, or sit anywhere else in the room. I think that happened in my philosophy class, which was one of those big classes with hundreds of students, and if people couldn't find a desk, which really wasn't the case for like after the first couple weeks, but for maybe the first week, it gets really full because people haven't dropped the class yet. So people couldn't find a place to sit, and they had to kind of like sit along the walls, and my professor wouldn't let them do that. And I was like, you know, they paid the same amount of money as the rest of us to come here, and they probably ran into a parking problem or something else stupid like that. So that was really unfair to me. That is something that also probably won't happen in The Sims 4 University. I think that would be fun if your sim could like get kicked out of class for doing something stupid like that. Oh, good old university days. I'm still in them. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna be in them for the rest of my life. That's how it feels. I am really excited to put my sim in university, despite the fact that I cannot wait to be done with university myself. Yeah, I'm probably going to put my sim self in university, which would just be fun. Make her a little fine art major, have her suffer with me. It's going to be great. I'm not planning on doing a university Let's Play particularly. I do have a Let's Play that I think I'm going to come out with really soon, and I'm really excited to do it. But it's probably going to have university in it, but it's not completely based around university. I'm debating whether I should talk about it more. I think we're going to keep it on the down low right now since I'm still planning for it. But yeah, I'm really excited. I have a legacy family that I play off screen. They're like sort of my current household, if you will. I'm going to play university with them for sure because they have a bunch of kids, and one of them's already a young adult. One of them is a teen. So like they're ready to go to university, and they already have skills and grades and stuff, so I think I'm gonna play with them myself and get used to it and everything. But I do imagine in the Let's Play that I'm doing, we're probably going to go to university, so that'll be fun whenever that happens. and I wanted time to be able to like renovate all the lots and stuff. I definitely want to put down some coffee shops because to me that's a huge part of university. If I'm on campus all day, I really like to be able to go somewhere that has coffee and just sit there and work on homework and stuff. I don't like going to the library very much. I think it's a little intimidating. When I was in a sorority, you actually had to have a specific number of study hours that you completed every week. And if you didn't get these done, I think you got in trouble. But most people got them done. It wasn't a big deal. But there were certain girls in the sorority who were particularly like, I guess, officers, and they would go to the library and they would just sit wherever they were going to sit anyway, and you would have to go find them and tell them that you were studying for however many hours and like where in the library you were going to study. And I don't really think they cared all that much because no one ever checked and made sure. One time I sat with the girl who was in charge because I was a little bit like, oh, I better make sure she sees me working on my homework, and then she didn't care at all. I'm pretty sure that she left before I did, but from then on I just kind of went there, found them, and then went somewhere else. But at most universities, I think this is the case, but the library at that university that I went to, every floor had like a different level of quiet that you were supposed to follow. So the first 2 floors, I believe, were like you could be as loud as you wanted, you could not like play music or anything, but you could chat with people, and you weren't expected to be really quiet. But the 3rd floor you had to be a little bit more quiet on, and the 4th floor was like, if you make any noise, everyone up here will look at you and stare at you and judge you for the rest of your life. And one time, one of the girls that I had to go check in with was on that like 4th dead quiet floor, and I had to go up there to see her, and it was really intimidating because everyone up there seemed really serious and I couldn't relate to them at all. So yeah, that was fun. So I only went to the library a couple of times at that school. It was pretty nice, and like you can rent study rooms, and if you're on like a group project, you can go there with your group and get like a room with a screen so you can practice PowerPoints and stuff. Usually that's pretty nice. I went to the library maybe once at my school currently. Might have even been when I was touring it in high school. So I haven't been there since. They're actually building an addition to it, which apparently they've been building for years. I mean, it's just been under construction since I got here pretty much endlessly. So I think the library is getting expanded, which is weird to me because I think it's already pretty big. But my school has an acronym for its name, like many other schools in Florida. And I'm not going to say exactly what school it is, but you're going to be able to tell from this acronym. It's called You Can't Finish. So a lot of people there all the time, and stuck there forever, it seems like me. I'm a little bit bitter about it, just gonna throw that out there. But yeah, the library is being built as we speak. I used to have to walk by it every day when I went to math class, but now I almost never go to campus because I literally have 2 classes on campus, and now I only have 1 because I finished one of my classes early. And that class is ending soon too, which is getting really stressful for me. I was looking at my calendar recently and realizing how much work I still had to do and how much time I have left to do it, which is not very much. So getting a little stressed out thinking about it. And so instead I decided to edit my video all day instead of working on my class. Yeah, that's how you get away from being stressed out. You just get stressed out later because you didn't work on something in enough time. But yeah, that's also a thing. I kind of want to, I don't know what I'm going to do with my Sims in university. I definitely want to like try and succeed and get the actual degrees and get good grades, but I think it'll be fun to have a Sim that's sort of slacking and doesn't always do their homework and is kind of like me sometimes. I mean, I'm pretty good about doing homework now, but my freshman year, I completely forgot to write 2 entire papers for a class, and you might be wondering how I did that. Well, the class was the same class I've talked about a bunch, philosophy, and we had to go to class, I think twice a week in one of those like stadium style rooms, and then we had classes that were called breakout sessions on Fridays, and those were run by the teacher's assistants or TAs. There were 2 of them, and you got broken up into like 2 different groups. So they were basically supposed to be like mini sessions of class where you talked about the homework from the week and you asked them any questions that you had, and they were kind of supposed to teach you, but it was more just like for anyone who has questions or wants to go over extra material. And the very first time we had that breakout session, the TA told us, hey guys, if you don't come to this class, that's kind of whatever. I'm not taking attendance, so you don't have to come if you don't want to. And I was like, perfect, I'm never coming again. So I never went because I was super tired. Fridays, literally no one else out of my friends had classes on Friday except for me. And I had 4 classes on Fridays. That was ridiculous. I was really not happy about that. So the minute they told me I didn't have to come every day, I was like, cool, not coming every day. But that turned out to be a bad decision because I was never able to remember when something was due. So there were 2 papers that I was supposed to write, and I didn't write either of them, which was really bad. Somehow still passed that class, got a C in it, which isn't great, but I still passed, and I didn't take it ever again. So yeah, basically I'd like to have a sim that's sort of like that. Not like failing, but not perfect. Definitely not perfect. I definitely usually play my Sims kids and teens when they do their schoolwork for homework. I definitely usually try to get them to do it every single day. So I don't normally have Sims with bad grades or bad reputations with the school. I think that'd be kind of fun to have a Sim like that in university who's there more for the partying side than for anything else. But we'll see what happens. We'll definitely see what happens. Yeah, I'm trying to be a good student now, so maybe my Sims should be good students too. I just did a kind of cool trick there in the build with the succulent wall thing that came with seasons. It looks really cool if you put it into the wall with BB.move objects on, and it kind of looks like all the plants are hanging on your wall instead of on the back of whatever object that planter box is from. Yeah, that's a fun little trick. I didn't come up with it by any means, but it looked really good in this build. I guess we can talk about the build a tiny little bit. We've moved inside, so yeah, the inside is all really brown, green, white, natural colors. I really like how the inside turned out. I messed around with it a lot, so I'm glad it turned out good. The bedroom downstairs, which we haven't gotten to yet, but I think we're gonna get to soon, is still my favorite bedroom that I think I've ever made for a sim that I don't already have in mind. I have a hard time making bedrooms for sims when I don't have a picture in my head of who could live in the house potentially. It just makes it hard to know what kind of clutter to put in there for them, but this room turned out really good because I just put a bunch of random things down and they ended up working together pretty nicely. And for that little outdoor area of the house, it's outside but not really outside. The lighting acts like it's outside, but it is an indoor room. I turned that into a yoga room, which I think was pretty fun. So if you have spa day, you can use that for a yoga room. If you don't and you still want to download this build, you can turn it into anything else. Originally I was thinking of making it a chess little room, but I ended up changing it into the meditation room because that was more fun. But you could turn that into pretty much anything, even an extra bedroom if you wanted to give yourself a little bit more room for Sims. I kind of picture 2 Sims and their son or daughter living here. I think I put makeup on the dresser in the teens room, but that could mean anyone can use that. Even boys can wear makeup. So yeah, I think I picture a 3 Sim family living here, maybe with some pets. There aren't any pet items in the build, but you could definitely add some. Maybe the Sims are in the conservationist career too, and they're kind of trying to bring the nature inside the home. Even though this house is nowhere near Sulani, it's definitely being built in, I think, Newcrest. I'm not positive. I ended up moving it over to the big lot in the hills in Del Sol Valley for my gallery picture because I liked the texture of the dirt when you use terrain tools there better than the one here. But I still used the screenshots from here because I think they turned out better. Now we're working on building the bedroom that I think was really cute. I don't know, I think the clutter is just what made this room really good. We have so much good clutter now in the game over all this time. And the posters, they go on the wall a little bit later. I think I returned to this bedroom after and added some posters. But even adding the laundry on the floor, I think that's a cute touch because that's definitely what my room looks like a lot of the time. I'm pretty good about doing chores, and that's a lie. I don't mind doing chores, but I definitely don't keep up with them as much as I should. My dad was a big neat freak growing up, so I always felt like I had to have a clean room and stuff. But now there's no one enforcing that, and both me and my boyfriend are not the cleanest of people. We're also not slobs. So I'm trying really hard to keep up with our place and keep it nice and clean, but it is harder than I feel like I thought it would be once we moved out. But yeah, this room I think is a good mix of cluttered and still tasteful, still has a somewhat cohesive color scheme and everything. And then upstairs, it's a pretty small house actually. It only has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, but it has a cute little master bedroom, which is very small. You could definitely expand it more if you wanted to shrink the bathroom down a little bit. But I like to think that these Sims spend most of their time outside and doing things, not so much time at home, which is not very true of my gameplay. I have a hard time getting the Sims out of the house. Even if I want to, it just sometimes feels so much easier to let them be home forever. But these Sims, I think, would go out and like go to the beach and go to parks and stuff and take samples and take pictures. I think it'd be fun to have a photographer Sim where you actually try to take like really nice pictures in game. The camera with a tripod now is a really great update for that, so that would work out really well. But yeah, currently we have the upstairs little loft kind of extra sitting space being built, and then we're moving into the master bedroom. And after that, I think I am almost done with the build. So I think I'm going to start signing off here for y'all. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, you were super cool. If you want to leave a comment, leave a comment if you're left-handed, or if you have any funny stories from going to university and some struggles you experienced, I'd love to hear about them. So if you're feeling inclined, leave me a comment. It's been great talking to you guys, and I will see you next week.